Afternoon, everyone. So, in this session, I am going to explain about detailed understanding of threads and HTTPS script recorder. So, in this session, I will explain what is thread group, and also I will explain all the options in the thread groups, and what is the scope of HTTPS script recorder and how we use it. So I will explain all these things. So in previous sections, they already explained about thread groups. So here just I will explain it, and practically I will show you. I will explain in brief. So first thing, thread group elements are the beginning points of any test plan. Thread group is a element where you will define the number of users for the performance of the test. Suppose if you want to test the performance of your application for 100 users or 150 users, then you have to define those users in the thread group. So there are so many options in the thread group. I just mentioned which are important. I will explain all those options later, one by one. So first is name. In the name, we have to mention the name according to your test. Suppose in one suppose if you are creating for sign up or login, then you have to mention it, because in one thread group, in one test plan, we can create multiple thread groups, right? So if you mention a correct name, it will be useful for you, so you will get to know easily you will understand it. So that's why we have to mention the name according to your test. And these are the thread properties. In thread properties, we can see all these options like number of threads, ramp up time, loop count, and scheduler checkboxes. Number of threads means the number of users you are testing. Suppose if you are testing for five users or 10 users, then you have to mention those numbers here. Ramp up time means how much time you want to allow thread group to go from mentioned user. Suppose you mentioned ramp up time for a 10 seconds, so then within that 10 seconds, all the users, suppose you mentioned 10 users, so all those users should complete by 10 seconds. So ramp up time means you have to mention time in seconds. And loop count, so how many times the test should be looped, you have to mention that to count. These scheduler boxes means these will come in the bottom, and these will be used for enable or disable extra fields. Like in those, you can mention the duration of the test. Like if you want to test it for 50 seconds, 30 seconds, so like that you have to mention in these fields. And if you want to start your execution late, then you have to mention that as well, like start and end times of the run. So you can mention that. I will explain briefly. So is my screen is visible, right?
Yes, yes, Karan.
Yeah, sure. So here, I this is the thread group. So here we have these many options. As I told you before, in the name we have to mention your thread group name, like whatever you are doing, creating for a thread group, you have to mention that. And comments will be useful when you are working with the team, or if you want to share anything, or if you want to highlight something, then you can use comments. Here you can mention all those things. And these are the options you can see, right? Continue, start, next thread loop, stop thread, stop test, stop test now. So continue, most of the time we use continue option, because we need to know what happened with our flows in case of any errors. Suppose while executing, if uh, if one execution got failed, so it will not stop, it will continue all the whole execution process. That's why we most of the time we use continue. Suppose if we select start next thread loop, then it will while execution, if any failure occur, it will move to next loop. It will start it will start the failure loop, and it will start next loop. Stop thread means it will stop your threads. And stop test means it will stop your test. Stop test now means it will stop whole the execution process. So both stop test and stop test now will look similar, but there is a one difference. That is, in stop test, just a minute, sorry. I got some Nishi. I got some important message. Just a minute.
Yes, yes, Kavya. Take your time.
Sorry. Is my screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was explaining stop test and stop test now. So there is a one difference, that is stop test will stop the test, but whatever your threads doing operation, no, it will execute that all those operations. But stop test now means it will stop the test immediately within the off of the execution only. So most of these test cases will be used when if you want to debug your failures, then at that time you can use these options. Thread properties means number of threads. Yeah, suppose if you want to test it for 5 users, then you want to complete it in 10 seconds, then you have to mention the ramp up period here as a 10 seconds. And here you can see loop count, right? Loop count means how much time look count means how many times you need to execute the scenario. Suppose if you want to execute this one for your thread for 2 times, then you have to mention it as a 2 3 anytime. If you select infinite, then you have to specify the thread lifetime. That means here you can see duration, right? Suppose if you want to complete, you don't know how many users you want to check, sorry, how many iterations you want to complete. So at that time, what you have to do, you have to just mention the duration. Suppose if you mention 40 seconds or 30 seconds, uh, whatever the time you want to complete, at that time you can mention it. So uh, in that period of time, it will complete all the operation. And suppose if you want to start your execution delay, so you can mention that. If you mention here whatever the seconds you want to start delay, suppose if you want to start it from 5 seconds, then it will take it will wait for 5 seconds, then it will start the execution process. So these are all about thread group options here. You can see all these. Suppose here also we have short options like start, validate, cut, copy. Suppose if you want to remove any request, any thread groups, you can remove by using this. So all these options, enable, disable, you can check all these things. And next is HTTPS script recorder. So HTTP script recorder is an element in JMeter that help us to record our HTTP request. With the help of this recorder, we can just browse and do the actions, and that recorder will capture everything, and it will map all those things in the JMeter. For example, I will take one scenario. I will just explain one scenario. Like you have to, the scenario is first you have to log into the application, then you have to search something. So here you will do 2 to 3 steps, right? So you will perform few actions. So you like if you want to test it manually, then what you have to do, you have to collect all the HTTP requests, and you have to map those in the JMeter. It will take too much time. So using this script recorder, you can just browse it, and whatever actions you do, it will capture. So it will and it will also map those all the requests in the JMeter automatically. So it will save lot of time. This is the main usage of this script recorder. So here I will explain how we need to use it. And here what you how to add it, go to add, go to non-test elements. Here you can see HTTPS script recorder, right? So you have to click on it. So here you can see, right? So to before starting the recording, we need to do some configurations. So that is one is proxy. We have to create one proxy server for that, and we should give same port number for both the browser and JMeter. If you give different port numbers, it will not capture all the logs. Only if we give the same port number, then it will capture all the requests. So how to do that? What you have to do, just go to browser, open browser, and here you have to mention first search for proxy. Sorry, go to browser and click on settings. Then you have to check for proxy. Here you can see, right, network settings. You have to click on settings. Here you have to select this manual proxy. I already given same port number. Manual proxy configuration, local host you have to mention here, and you have to give the same port number. Yes, here you have, this is the global port number. If you want, you can change anything, but both should be same. So I just copied this and I pasted over here, and you have to click on OK. That's it. It will save your configuration. So once you've done this, what you have to do, you have to just click on start. Sorry. Here he target controller. So here you have to select where you want to add the logs. So if you select the test plan thread group, it will save all the logs in the thread group. Suppose if you select this script recorder, it will save all the logs in the script recorder. So whatever the option you will select, it will capture over here. So once I click on start, it is asking me for a CS certificate. So uh, in the HTTPS script recorder, whenever you click on start, it will automatically create that certificate in the main folder. That is what you have to do. You have to go to your folder, bin folder. Here you can see, right, Apache JMeter temporary root CA. So whenever you click on start, no, it will create a certificate, this certificate in the main folder. So you have to add that in your browser. So what you have to do, you just go to configuration, go to your browser and search for certificates. So here you can see, right, certificates, view certificates. Here you can import that. So here you can see, right, Apache JMeter temporary root CA. So click on open. It will ask to these options. You have to mention like trust this CA to identify websites. You have to click on. So it imported. See, once you click on OK, it imported, and click on save. So if you click on view, you can see this certificate over here. So once you've done that, go to JMeter, and if you click on start, it will start. So here what I will do, I will show you one real-time example. That is right now I'm working on one project. Now I will explain that only. Just a minute. I will show you one scenario. I will just copy this URL. So here I will show you one scenario, that is I will log into the application, then I will delete one model from my list. So I will show you it will capture all the logs or not. So once you add it, you have to click on start. So here you can give any name. I will just give TM login. So I will delete. So that means I am deleting one model. So that scenario I will show you. So what I did here, I will paste it. So right now I am in home page, right? So what I will do, I will archive this model. I will delete this. So I will check that model is coming in archive list or not. I will check it. Sorry. So I'm not able to archive that. So I will just move to assume it right now because I need to search for it. So right now I'm in archived, right? So I did 2 to 3 actions. Let's see it captured all the things or not. What I will do. So where I saved that folder in the thread group, right? So if you click on it, see, you can see all the logs. So I gave that as a delete, right? So TM delete, that's why it's saved under all those as a delete. So it will save all the logs. So I will show you. I will add one listener and I will execute and I will show you the result. So here I have added listener and Now I will start execute. See, you can see it will execute all the logs. Here I gave for the 5 times, so that's why it is execute. It will execute for 5 times. I will stop it. Just a minute. I will clear. One. So now I will execute it. ID showing invalid. Okay, just a minute. So if I check it, see, you can see one time it executed all, right? So this is how it will capture all the HTTPS requests. Next. So here you can see request filtering, right? Suppose if you are searching something in any other local websites or anything, so it will also capture unwanted logs as well. To clear, you don't want few requests. So if you want to exclude those, what do you have to do? You have to just mention those, like if you want to include something you can mention it there. Suppose if you want to exclude any request, you can exclude those by mentioning here. Suppose if you don't know the URL patterns, what you have to do, scroll down here, you can see, right, add suggested excludes. So you can see this. So like that you can exclude in this pattern, you can exclude your uh, unwanted URLs. So this is all about HTTPS script recording.